Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining me today for this Monday Moxie. Welcome. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about something called awareness. How often are you asked by your teacher, what do you notice? What do you feel? How does that feel? And how often do you think, I don't know. Is this a trick question? It's not. Let's just first clarify, that is not a trick question. And teachers, how often do you ask your students this and you get a look of either terror because they're going, oh my gosh, what's the right answer? I don't know. Or how often do you get that glassy blank stare of like, right? Self-awareness is a key component in the growth process for singers. And so as teachers, as singers, we have to grow and develop our self-awareness. So in today's broadcast, we're going to talk about 3 things that you can do, 3 ways that you can bring a new sense of awareness into your practicing and into your lessons. And for teachers, we'll be talking about some ways that you can help to grow this awareness in your singers and in your students. So jump on in the conversation. If you are joining me live today, I'm thrilled that you're here. My name is Amy Mushel, and I am here with Mushel Music Studio. And I come on live on Mondays for a little Monday Moxie. And with Monday Moxie, it's all about how we can get a little bit more pep, a little bit more courage and determination and know-how in our skills as singers and teachers. And here at Mushel Music Studio, I believe in nurturing the whole singer. So it's not just about the voice, but it's about the mind, the body, as well as the voice, and how they all work as one complete instrument, and how we can foster this whole body awareness, our musicianship, and our self-confidence. So come on along with me. If you are joining me live today, I would love for you to pop some notes in the comments. Let me know where you're joining from. And if you're watching on the replay, be sure to drop a little line as well. Tell me where you're watching from. I know we have some people who watch from Canada. We have people all across the US that watch this. If you're watching from Europe or Australia or some other continent, share that with me. I'd love to share with my son where all of my viewers come from all across the globe. We've been doing a ton of geography work this year, first grade. So I would love for you to share, where are you joining me from, whether it's live or on the replay. And if you hear something really juicy in today's broadcast, I would love for you to type #gold and put what was the little gold nugget that you heard that you want to be able to remember, that's going to help you both with your singing and with your teaching. Be sure to clue that in the comments so that we as a community all learn and grow together. And if you're loving the stuff that you're hearing, you know, Facebook loves it when we get some thumbs up, some hearts. So be sure to put those in as you, if you are loving the information and the content that you're getting here today. Be sure to like that, because the more that we get from viewers, the more that viewers actually see this content. So if this is good stuff and you're enjoying it and you find it helpful for you and inspiring, be sure to share it, like it, do all of those things so that we can get more information out to more people. So in order to amplify your awareness, where it's kind of like amplifying your X-ray vision into your whole self. And so today, let's talk about how we can up our self-awareness game by amplifying that X-ray vision. The first thing that you can do to help yourself as a singer or as a teacher to help your students is to get to know your vocal anatomy. If all you really kind of know about is the general idea of I've got this larynx or I've got a diaphragm, but I don't really know what those things are. My teacher always talks about this soft palate thing, but I don't know what that is or where it is or what it looks like or how it moves. I don't really know anything about it. And so when my teacher says, "Ooh, did you feel that soft palate lift?" And you go, yeah, I did. You're not helping yourself when you agree with your teacher in order to make them feel like they've done a really good job of teaching you. If you're really clueless and you don't know, the best thing that you can do for your learning is to be honest, right? So if you are not fully aware of the various things that are a part of our vocal anatomy, and when we talk about vocal anatomy, we're really talking about the functioning of the voice itself, which means wind, right, vibration, and resonance. And so if none of this is making any sense and you have a teacher, start asking lots and lots of questions and help them fill in the gaps of your current understanding. If you have a general understanding, but you don't know what those different parts are going to feel like when you use them in different ways, this is what we want to amplify. So open your awareness to the specific parts of your anatomy. Start with the things that your teacher talks about. If your teacher is talking about the soft palate and you go, "Yeah, I don't know what that feels like. Can you help me to find it? Where is it?" Right? Ask more questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Ask them to show you pictures. Most teachers have access to a whole library of books. They can show you a plethora of diagrams and pictures. And if they don't, they certainly have access to it on the intranet. And if you're not working with a teacher right now, and so you don't have somebody who can help you identify these things, then you can start your own exploration by researching on the internet, or now might be a really good time to find a new teacher. Explore the different anatomy through a process called body mapping. You will find lots of different resources that can help you with body mapping. There are teachers specifically who work in body mapping, and they are trained in how to help you identify the sensations that these different parts of the body create. And so they can really amplify your awareness of those different anatomy parts. And I'll be giving you some more tips for how you can go about finding a teacher or finding somebody who can help you with these things. I already said, if you're not working with a teacher, find one. Now is a great time. If you are looking for a teacher, there are some that are certainly starting to go back to in-person. Maybe they've been in person this whole time, but there are tons of teachers all across the globe who are teaching online as well. And so if you need assistance in how to find a teacher, let me know. the last thing to really amplify your awareness is to get specific. Start to learn about the very specific parts of your body that are designed to create sound. If you are not aware of some of those different parts, then this is part of the process. You want to start researching what are the parts that help you sing, and what are the parts that are that you're going to have sensory awareness of right away, and which are the ones that you might need to learn about and discover. And you may, I can't say this enough, you may need the assistance of some sort of a teacher. Alexander technique is a great way to amplify your awareness. Feldenkrais, if you have a Feldenkrais teacher in your area, that is also a great avenue to be able to really hone in your awareness and discover more about your body. Certainly a voice teacher should be able to help you with that. And if you have a voice teacher who really is not skilled in this area, then you might want to look outside of that voice lesson. Again, body mapping. Some people are specifically trained in a process called body mapping. And so that is also something that can really help you to amplify that awareness. So step 1, get to know your vocal anatomy. Step 2. So oftentimes when we think of our vocal anatomy, we really get honed in right here and maybe down to here, right? So we kind of think of it as a very small section of what we really play with when we're thinking about our voice. So in order to amplify your awareness, what we really need to do is we need to zoom out and we need to do a whole body scan. When we start to really include our whole body in our awareness, we start to discover things about our whole instrument, because our whole body is our instrument, and we start to discover so much more about our whole instrument, and we start to become more in tune with different sensations throughout our whole body as we are singing. This is an important part of the process. So if all you are thinking about as you're singing is what's right here in your throat or in your mouth, and that's it, we need to broaden what you are considering as your instrument. Bring your awareness to the parts outside of your vocal anatomy. So we started with, let's bring it to the vocal anatomy and get to know that better. But then the next step is we've got to go outside of that. We can't stay stuck in just that little part, because if you affect change here, you are affecting change throughout your whole body. And if you're not aware of what is happening in your whole system, and you're only thinking about what's happening here, you might be missing a piece of the puzzle, right? And truly, learning to sing is like a 1,500 piece puzzle. There's lots of pieces. There are lots of parts, and it can feel like you are missing whole chunks at various times, especially if all you're looking for is that one piece. If you're not thinking about the things that are connected to that one piece isn't going to do you any good. So you have to think about the whole body when you are thinking about using your whole system as a singer. So really think about not avoiding any one piece or getting stuck on any one piece. When you're doing a puzzle, have you ever noticed how sometimes that one piece you just can't figure out where it goes? So what do? You put it aside and you find a different piece to play with, right? And you find a different nook to go and investigate. This is what we want to do as singers and as teachers, right? If you are a teacher and you're stuck on the soft palate and that's not fixing the problem with their resonance, well, then we've got to start going somewhere else, because otherwise you're literally banging your head against the wall and you're banging your student's head against the wall, and they start to feel like they're broken, like there's something wrong with them because they can't figure it out. So we need to broaden our toolbox to not get stuck on any one piece of the puzzle. I want to remind you, if you are watching with me live and you hear something that you are really excited about, I would love for you to share this with other people in your singing community. Feel free to put those thumbs and those hearts up on the broadcast, and be sure to jump into the conversation. So, as you're thinking about zooming out, and you're thinking about how you can bring awareness to other parts of the body. So again, we so often get stuck here, but what's happening with your knees? What's happening with your feet? What's happening with your shoulders? Is any piece locked, or is there any piece that maybe needs some stability? Both of those things can occur in any part of our body. So how are you bringing your awareness to different parts? What are all the different places in your body where you feel movement, or where you feel a change as you breathe? What is the difference between the sensation that you get on an inhale versus the sensation that you get on an exhale? And it's not that we have to necessarily do anything right this minute. If you've never even given these thoughts consideration, the first thing that we really need to do is literally just start that X-ray process. We need to start scanning the whole body in order to notice, where is their freedom? Where is their tone, as in muscular tone? And where is their excess tension? Because those are all different things. And so once you start to identify different amounts of use, then you can start to ask yourself a series of questions, which hopefully, again, your teacher is going to walk you through a series of questions to help you identify what is useful and what might not be useful. And what are and we don't have to put any value or judgment on that, but we can simply start to have a better understanding of what this awareness is bringing to us. So, I want to recap just really quickly that today we're talking about amplifying our self-awareness as singers and as teachers to be able to bring a bigger picture to our singing and to our learning. And so the first two things that I brought in today's broadcast to help you amplify your learning as a singer and to help your singers, if you're a teacher, amplify their learning. Number one is get to know your vocal anatomy. We have to discover these various parts that create sound in our body. And as we start to discover them, we need to become more aware of the sensations that come along with those different parts and how they work in different ways. So if you're not familiar yet at all with your vocal anatomy, how can you get a little bit more information? Second, we talked about doing a whole body scan. It's not useful to get stuck in only the vocal anatomy parts. Our whole body is our instrument, and so we can't neglect a single part of the instrument when we're using it for singing. So it's really, again, how can we create more awareness without judgment, without placing value on what we're discovering, but really just finding more of a connection to our whole system as we are doing something that we love to do, which is singing. If you are local, I'm located in Colorado Springs. So if you're joining me from Colorado Springs, howdy, be sure to drop that a line of where you're joining me from, which neighborhood you're in. And if you're here in Colorado Springs or the vicinity, I want to offer you an opportunity to come and play in, not my garden technically, although I just had to do Come to My Garden because if you don't know it, it's a song from The Secret Garden. And I feel like we can discover so many secrets about our singing when we start to discover more about our awareness and our senses and really opening up more pathways into how we can use our voice. So if you have been waiting for an in-person opportunity to connect with your voice, to connect with other people in the community, and to connect with other singers, I want to personally invite you to come to my garden in downtown Colorado Springs, where I will be hosting a series of classes where you can come and actually discover some of these things that we're talking about in today's broadcast in person. And so if you're interested, they are live daytime classes specifically for adults, because I want to bring together a group of adults, whether you are an advanced singer, whether you would consider yourself an advanced shower singer, or if you are somebody who loves to sing in professional or community choirs, all people are welcome. And it's really an opportunity to rediscover your voice and your love of singing and rediscover the awareness of your whole body while we play. We're going to be playing with music, making sounds. We're going to be playing games. It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. So if you are interested in getting information about Come to My Garden, just put garden in the comments and I will send you a link for how you can sign up. It's perfect for expanding your awareness and growing your vocal skills. And if you have no interest in being any kind of a professional singer or anything like that, that's okay. If you love to sing in the shower and you just really want to discover more about yourself and your voice, drop garden in the comments and come join me in my garden. As we continue, I have one more tip. And as we continue this conversation, if you're interested in show notes from today, I would be happy to share them with you. You can join my mailing list. And in order to get the information to join my mailing list, just type in the comments awareness. And I will send you a link for how you can join my mailing list and get our show notes from today all about awareness. So here is my last tip for you. We've talked about it ever so slightly, but let's get specific. As you are amplifying your awareness and as you are discovering more and more of the sensory awareness, my plea to you is to be aware, but don't try to fix it. The first thing that we want to do as human beings is fix the problem. But as you first really get to know these different sensations and you become more aware of the different sensations that these different body parts provide as sensory feedback, the more information you gather does not mean that there's anything wrong. At first, we simply need to gather data. If you imagine that you're a scientist, scientists don't immediately take the first information that they gather and try to make assumptions about what we need to do with that information. They're simply gathering it until they have enough information And they have enough variety, they have enough that goes with their theory that will either prove their theory or disprove their theory. We want to be able to gather information so that we can make choices over time. But right from the get-go, if you're being told that you need to do something with your soft palate, well, how much is enough? How much is too much? How much is not enough? If you haven't explored and experienced enough and you don't have enough data, how can you know? If you are being told that you need to drop your jaw, this is one of the things that we hear all the time, right? In choir, drop your jaw. Well, how do you know if you're dropping your jaw enough? How do you know if you need to drop it more? What if, in fact, you're one of the people who's already dropping their jaw and you don't need to drop it anymore, but you do, and now you're causing tension? If you're not aware of what you're doing now, how can you make choices about changing them? You can change them in order to gather more data and to have a better awareness. How much is too much? How much is not enough? It's like it's like Goldilocks and the three bears, right? Oh, this one's too big. Oh, this one's too small. Oh, this is just right. Eventually, we're going to find out what is just right. But at first, when you're first discovering this sense of awareness, you're not going to know. So don't try to fix it, especially at the beginning. That's not the goal. It's really simply opening up the pathways to have more information so that you understand what this sensory awareness is even telling you. So to really grow your singing, it's not about fixing your anatomy for sure, right? There's nothing to fix in your anatomy. You can make choices about how you use your anatomy, but there's nothing that you need to fix about your anatomy. Your anatomy is designed for brilliant use. And so when we start to learn more about our anatomy, it can help us to have more choices. But it's not about changing or fixing anything about you. Again, simply start to connect with your body and the sensations that light up as you get to know different parts of the anatomy. And as you begin to gain more awareness, you can have more options available, and you're better equipped to understand how things are changing as you're experimenting when you're in your lessons and when you are practicing. And that's what this is all about. I also want to share with you, if you found this information to be useful and helpful, I would love to share with you that I have a group called the Wholehearted Singer Group, and they are found right here on Facebook online. It's a library of videos where you can grow your skills and discover new ways to explore your singing and to discover your instrument and how you can find more efficiency in your instrument. And I'm currently accepting new members in my group. This summer is a great time to get back to doing some new things, as you might be taking some breaks. You might be doing some different things this summer. So if you are interested in getting more information and specifically about how you can have some exercises to discover and explore your awareness, we also do body mapping in there. If you would like some information about that, go ahead and type Wholehearted in the comments, and I can get you information about how you can join the Wholehearted Singer Group. So, I hope that you've discovered something new. I hope that you are thinking about singing in a slightly new way and how this self-awareness can really amplify your ability to learn and grow. And really, it's going to make it, although at first it might feel like, yeah, but I'm not doing anything, I'm not fixing anything. So how am I getting better? Trust me when I say, as you start to develop this part of the puzzle, you will find that your singing skills will grow exponentially. And you will be making much faster progress than if you're just stuck on that one piece of the puzzle, whether that's your tongue or your jaw or your breath or your blah, 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 blah. Whatever is the one thing that you are always obsessing about in your lessons and in your practice room, if you're just thinking about the one thing, let's see how we can amplify your awareness to discover a whole slew of things that you could be playing with. Again, I am Amy Mushel here with Mushel Music Studio, and you've been joining me for my Monday Moxie broadcast today, and I hope that you found it to be helpful. If you would like to join me for more Moxie, you can join me on the first and third Mondays of the month right here at Mushel Music Studio, and you can get more pep, more courage, and more know-how to amplify your singing. And in the meantime, I hope that you will stay mindful and be curious and continue to grow your awareness. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye-bye.